Let's talk about what the Niners maybe didn't do so well in the draft.
Okay.
You could look
It's
at each
obvious.
play. Yeah, you could look at each player they picked and say that's a good wide receiver, that's a good running back. But the fact that they didn't touch offensive line until the end of round 7 is almost like funny, considering everyone in the world's telling them to do it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this. Slow down. Clearly, they have a philosophy. Okay?
Yeah.
The philosophy is we want to invest in other positions, and we're not going to invest that much in the offensive line. So, in a sense, they know what they're doing because they're doing it intentionally. I politely disagree with their philosophy. I do. I think you need a good offensive line, better than what they have, which isn't as good as it was last season because they lost the left guard.
Right.
Philadelphia, I think, pays more attention to the offensive line than the Niners. Iggy, is that a correct statement?
That's a correct statement.
Okay. They just won the Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl because they were tough on the offensive line and the defensive line, something the Niners weren't last season. And if they're playing a lot of new players on the defensive line, we'll see. And the offensive line, which maybe was a C or a C plus last season, lost its starting left guard. And it seems like they're going to go with the backups who couldn't start last season. Well, I find it troubling. I politely disagree with their philosophy. I think it's probably a good run blocking line because they have Trent Williams on the left. But protecting the quarterback, not so much. And I think what they depend on is Purdy can get the ball out quick or he can run for his life. I don't mean he's a running quarterback. I mean he can run for his life kind of quarterback. I just don't like it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're going to pay him a lot of money. I understand if he's a rookie and he's proving himself. It's like maybe we don't need to invest big in our offensive line yet. But if you're going to give him $50 million a year, you might want to protect him because he's gotten hurt a lot. He got hurt twice last year. He got hurt a couple of years before then. He's not that big. You said that the offensive line's a C. I would agree, and I feel like they would agree. It's like, yeah, we have an average off. It's not bad. No, it's not bad, but it's not good. And it's probably the worst position group on your offense. And yet every year the Niners seem to prioritize wide receiver. Like last year, it was the first pick of their draft, wide receiver. This year was the first pick they used on offense. And I don't think anyone would say that wide receiver is a weaker position on the team than offensive line. It just shows that Kyle thinks wide receivers more important than offensive line in his philosophy.
Right. And I politely disagree. Iggy, let's go across their offensive line and try to give a letter grade, left to right. Would that be okay?
Sure.
Okay, let's start with Trent Williams. What do you give him?
I would give him an A minus, and the minus is because he's going to miss a few games. You don't know how many or when.
Right. He is going to miss some games, but when he plays, he's an A.
He's an A. Yes, he's an A asterisk.
I love it. But an A, yeah. I'd say an A minus. I would have given him a B plus because he how many games did he miss last season? A bunch, right?
7.
Yeah. So A minus, B plus. But when he plays, he's an A. He's wonderful. Now, for me, left guard is incomplete. I don't even know who it's going to be. What do you think?
It'll be some competition. It could be Spencer Burford, who's started games for them at right guard. He'd be a C minus. Or it could be Ben Barch, who's started some games in the league, but he gets hurt a lot. So he'd be another C minus, considering you can't depend on him to be there the whole year. Or they could go for like some backup. Nick Zakel, they drafted him 3 years ago. He's been doing nothing. He'd be another C minus. So they got a C minus competition.
It's troubling.
Yeah,
it's troubling. You should have pride in that line, in that position. Okay, Brendel in the center.
Especially considering the previous guy, Aaron Banks, was like a B.
Okay, so you've downgraded, downgraded.
Yeah.
Center.
PrizePicks is sponsoring the Cohn Zone this year. PrizePicks is the leader in daily fantasy and the best place to win cash while watching sports. And the best part about the app is it's really easy to use. To create a lineup, all you have to do is pick more or less on a few players' stats. I'm a Niners guy. So, when I'm doing prize picks, I'm looking, the last couple of years, I'm looking at Deebo Samuel because I know Deebo Samuel better than Deebo Samuel knows Deebo Samuel. So if it's like drops, I'm taking more. Or if it's like punches thrown towards his long snapper on the sideline during the fourth quarter of a game, the 49ers will go on to win. I'm smashing more because I know the 49ers and I'm a prize picks guy. Now, maybe they didn't have those exact plays, but they have so many plays that'll make your head spin. And you can play prize picks in over 40 states, including California and Texas. Best part about it is the new user offer. Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. So win or lose, you'll get $50 just for playing. That sounds like a win to me. Use promo code Cohn, COHN, to claim your $50 today. Tell them Grant sent you. See?
Tell me why.
He's fine as a run blocker in the system, but he is not good as a pass protector. He's small. He gets overpowered. He gets pushed on his back. He can't block one-on-one in pass protection. He's a C, and he's older.
Is he a UCLA guy?
Yeah.
Does he really like you because you both went to UCLA?
Oh, he loves me. Big fan.
Okay. Pooney.
Pooney
Right
is
guard.
Pooney's an A-. B+
I love
A-.
him.
He's a hell of a player.
Hell,
Yeah.
That's where. And where did they get him? How did they get him?
Third round last year from Kansas, the known football factory, Kansas. They had no idea. I mean, they took him in the third round. He wasn't supposed to start. Spencer Burford got hurt. John Feliciano was on the verge of retirement, and he just got a bunch of reps with the starters in training camp, and they were like, looks pretty good. Let's give him a shot. And he just kept playing well.
God love him.
Yeah.
So those are two really good quality players on the offensive line.
The left tackle and the right guard.
Okay. Yeah. Right tackle.
C+, CC+.
Oh,
because he's going to be a free agent next year and get a lot of money, but that's just because there aren't that many good offensive linemen, and he's not bad.
What does he do good and what does he not do?
Another guy. He fits the zone blocking run system, but when it's actually time to block someone in pass protection, he's slower than Mike McGlinchey. I mean, he's a liability. He's someone that you would want to put your best pass rusher on. So he's half of a good offensive lineman. B as a run blocker, D as a pass protector, just like Jake Brendel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Grant just gave a impartial look at you. I hope that you hear about this and want to prove him wrong.
Yeah.
I hope you want to prove him wrong. I hope that's where you live. And you come up to him in the locker room and say, Grant, Brendel and McKivitz, I heard what you said about me. It's okay. I'm going to prove you wrong. I told you.
Tell you what.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you what Spencer Burford told me?
Please.
In the locker room. This was after they lost the Super Bowl, and he was the one who got kind of humiliated at the end because Chris Jones came unblocked. I didn't even think it was Spencer Burford's fault, but everyone blamed him. He came up to me in the locker room. He said, Grant, thank you. I said, what do you mean, Spencer? He said, thank you so much. You don't understand. You make me better. Keep saying that. You make me better. And I said, Spencer, I really appreciate that, man. Like, I have a lot of respect for you. And then he did a whole press conference right after that, like explaining why it was his fault that they lost the Super Bowl. He was like, no, it was on me. I made the mistake. I should have blocked Chris Jones. Like, wow. So,
well, it doesn't surprise me because he's an offensive lineman. I told you they were always my favorite players. And I have to say what he said to you, God love him, Iggy.
Yeah. God love him. So let's look at him again. So he's probably going to start. He's 24. He's really young. He's going to turn 25 in July. He has started 29 games for the Niners. Didn't start any last year, but he has experience. He's in a contract year. Maybe this is the year like he puts it together and he's pretty good. I think they're going to give him a shot.
I hope so. And again, Spencer, if you're watching this, we wish you all the best. We want you to be an A, and you have the great attitude, and I hope you do it.
Part of the issue for him was he played left tackle in college, and they moved him to right guard. It's a big position switch, not just from tackle to guard, but from left to right. Maybe moving back to the left will do him well. And if not, he could be the backup tackle, the swing tackle. They need one of those, and Ben Barch could be the starting left guard. They got options. Ben Barch was drafted and developed by George Warhop over in Jacksonville.
One of our
funny.
favorites.
Chris Forster was talking about him last year. And he was like, I was eating lunch with George Warhop, and he recommended this guy. So you got to check him out. He's really good. So Warhop's kind of the reason that he's on the Niners.
Grant and I know George Warhop, and we happen to know his wife. Mm-hmm. And he is an unsung hero of the NFL. He's one of the best offensive line coaches.
He's currently with the Ravens.
Yeah, not a bad position to be.
Yeah, a team that's drafting offensive linemen.
Right.
Yeah, the Niners took a wide receiver with that pick, which he may end up being a really good wide receiver. They took him with pick 138. 3 picks later, the Ravens took an offensive tackle who's 6'7" and runs a 5 flat 40-yard, a really good athlete. And the Niners took a really good athlete at wide receiver. It just shows you the difference with the teams.
I would have taken the offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Or, as they say now, if I'm the 49ers, I take a offensive lineman. I love when people say that. I'm not the 49ers, so I can't say that.
It just seems to me that if you truly value the quarterback position, you got to invest in the offensive line.
Yeah.
And it seems like the Niners are going to pay Brock Purdy because you have to, you're supposed to. The league says you need to. I mean, it's the normal thing to do, but I just don't feel like they really have their heart into passing or whatever. I don't know what it is, but if I were Brock Purdy, it'd be nice to get the money, but I'd still say, hey, how about a left guard? I would love a left guard.
Well, maybe Spencer Burford can do it. Maybe they really believe in him.
If you remember Andrew Luck, the Colts had him. They never really put an offensive line in front of him. He got beaten to hell, and he retired at 29.
Right. And now he's running the show at Stanford.